Yes, sir.
We are so back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Back-to-back live shows. Are you kidding me? It's not even preseason yet, but we got stuff we got to talk about. And I was going to post this on Twitter and Instagram and all that later, but we're actually going to have 3 live shows in a row this week because tomorrow the Suns Jam Session podcast and I will be co-streaming a little Suns Megapod kind of question and answer type thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I will be a part of it. Cannot wait. And we are live with back-to-back live shows. You guys already know the drill. Make sure to Hulk smash that like button. Please subscribe for everything Phoenix Suns. And I appreciate everybody that is watching along live or is watching later. We're also live on Instagram and on Facebook as well. So you guys already know what to do. Click like, share the show, tag me in a post if you guys want to. I would really appreciate it. Thank you, Jason Ham, for being here. And thank you to my good friend, Mary. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Jason says, I am so proud of you, man. Thank you, Jason. You are so kind, dude. All your nice tweets and everything. I appreciate you, my brother. So, to be real with you guys, there isn't like anything like groundbreaking necessarily to take away from training camp, but I still wanted to kind of do my job here and just keep you guys in the loop. And then we got some other Suns related things that we're going to talk about, some other NBA things that we're going to talk about. And then maybe near the end of the show, I'll just answer some questions. So feel free to start getting your questions in now. What we're going to do here is we're going to just go on the Suns YouTube page and kind of just react to I think it's like 21 minutes long. And I'll make sure to do pauses and give my thoughts and everything. But we're just going to listen to Suns head coach Mike Budenholzer, Kevin Durant, and Grayson Allen on how day 2 of Phoenix Suns training camp went today. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And like I said, we will dive into some other NBA related stuff as well. And I'm really excited for today's show. So let me just pull everything up here, you guys, and then we will get started. Okay, let's make sure this is working. Let's go like that. Okay, you guys already know the drill here. One-man show. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in, watching along live, or watching later in the show. Phoenix Suns training camp day 2. Let me just put on my headphones, and then we will hear from Suns head coach Mike Budenholzer. And sorry, guys. And we'll dive into this. Let me know how everybody's night is going. Let me know what you guys are drinking. I had enough coffee and stuff earlier, so I'm just drinking water. So let's go ahead and hear from Suns head coach Mike Budenholzer. Hopefully you guys can hear this. Okay, I'll turn up the audio all the way that I can. And here we go. Suns head coach Mike Budenholzer.
Day 2 was good. The guys worked hard. Again, throwing a lot of stuff at them, a lot of learning. But like the competition, like the mindset, the energy, guys were good today.
One of the phrases that we've heard you say in the past is wanting to play random. Can you kind of describe what that is?
Yeah, I think, the other thing, just when the ball's moving and players are moving and, there will be maybe some part of it that starts scripted and then, they get to where they're just playing and kind of playing on instincts, playing on things that multiple actions and not letting the ball stop and stick and, guys in different spots. And the guys have been really good. And when you have good players and smart players, I think it can be really effective.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt real quick. But that was a great question. I can't talk today. I'm sorry, you guys. That was a great question from PHNX's Gerald Bourget, who, it was a serious question, but it was sort of like a fun question, like at the same time, fun and serious, where he was asking, like, what does play random mean to you? And from what I took away from that was the Phoenix Suns have really smart players. The ball is zipping around. The ball is moving around. And I think we are going to see the Phoenix Suns play random this season, but also like a discipline random, if that makes sense. Like, I'm sure guys will be in their sets. I'm sure guys might run certain plays that we may not know they're running, but it might look random to us. You know what I mean? And I like that. Play random. smart, effective players with great team chemistry and continuity. That's what I'm excited about. I think even Kevin Durant might have talked about that a while ago. Appreciate you, Suns Fever, man. He says, looking and sounding good. You are the man. I appreciate you. Shout out to Daniel and Mug and Suns Fever 83 for everybody and everybody else that's in here. I appreciate you guys. All right, let's continue to listen to Suns head coach Mike Budenholzer.
What do you say about Kevin's consistency and his dedication to the game? He said there are no off days. You don't get to vacation when you live this lifestyle. What does it say about him that he's able to go into year 18 playing at this high of a level?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that are just, so impressive about Kevin, but to see what he's doing out here in training camp, I think leading with his effort, leading with his competitiveness. He doesn't take drills off. He's the first one in line. It's kind of the stuff you want from your best players. So could not be more impressed with him.
Did you guys hear what Mike Budenholzer just said? That Kevin Durant is the first one in line, even after 18, well, I guess it's 18 years now, 18 years of doing this. Kevin Durant is the first one in line. He is so impressed with him. I absolutely love to see that. Everything that he's doing in camp, leading with effort, quote, leading with his competitiveness, doesn't take drills off. That is a special kind of player. You guys heard me talk a lot this offseason about like the leadership of Kevin Durant. And that is leading by example. That is leading. That is what a leader does. The leader is first in line and the troops rally behind. I love to see that. My guy, Casey, I appreciate you being here, man. Thanks, man. All right, let's continue on here.
Did you watch him in the Olympics?
Yeah, no, I watched. I went to Paris for the Serbia game and the gold medal game, and watched the others, kind of on TV.
Well, I was going to ask. I mean, he had a calf injury. He came back, I think, against Serbia. Everyone was wondering what kind of role he was going to play, minutes restriction, and he comes out and hits his first 8 shots. How is a guy able to do that when he hasn't really been going full speed for so long?
Yeah, I mean, there's some guys that, we joke, they just roll out of bed and, they make shots and score 20 or 30. And I don't know, they just God-given talent. And I think it's a lot of work and a lot of preparation throughout his whole life. He's always working on his craft. He's committed professional. But there's also just a feel that Kevin has that is rare and unique. And, I think it was on display that day when, first came back, hits all his shots, 8, I think, and 20-something points. And it's kind of mind-boggling.
Coach, when you look at the lineup, Grayson was saying that I was asking about nuance. What's similar to when he played for you in Milwaukee to now? He talked about, practice-wise, still warm up kind of the same, concept kind of the same, but offensively we're different. We have different rosters. What can you do with this roster maybe that you couldn't do, or maybe what were they able to do in Milwaukee?
Well, I think this roster, obviously a lot of it's built around, what's best for Book and Brad and KD. And, they're very much great perimeter scorers, great wings with a lot of skill, dribble, pass, shoot. And, so building a system and a way of playing offensively that hopefully puts them in a position to succeed, but then puts their teammates in a position to succeed. So you always got to build your system and your offense and your roster around your best players. And, we're doing that here in Phoenix and are trying to work on that the last couple of days. Every team's a little different, a little unique. I think that's what makes hopefully NBA coaches great. They figure out how to put their best players in the best spots and really everybody around those guys in their best spots too.
I love that answer right there. Because he first off acknowledged that that's what all NBA teams try to do is put their best players and really the whole team, in a position to succeed, but especially this Phoenix Suns team with 3 superstars, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. I love that. Mike Budenholzer just has such a positivity and like a different energy, or some of you guys like to say a different vibe about him. And just seems like a really smart head coach, so much basketball IQ. I really appreciated that answer. That was a good answer, man.
You go back over the course of your career from year to year in Atlanta and Milwaukee and here. Did it change even just little things like every year basically happen?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, the Atlanta teams, they had their strengths and things that, we tried to hopefully play to and put those guys in a position to be successful. And you get to a team like Milwaukee and you kind of assess the roster, assess the players, and figure out and try and find a system that fits them. And there's some core beliefs. There's some things that, I think regardless of who you're playing with or how the roster is built that are important to good offense, good defense. But then, I think there's some details and some of the, finer things that get tweaked.
Did you notice Book and Kevin come back with a little bit of an edge after Paris, or are they bringing anything from that training to this team?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to know Book and KD, so I don't know. I can't speak, with a lot of experience of what they were like before Paris, but I think there's both an edge and a confidence. I think that both of them played really well. The pressure and the ability to come through with the gold, it just gives you a little bit of confidence. And I think there's an edge that comes with it too. They're winners. They felt what winning's like. They felt like being a part of a great team is like. I think they want to bring that back to our group, and so I think it's a huge positive.
Is it easier to work with a team that doesn't have superstars like you had in Atlanta, with that team that was starting five, basically like the player of the month in January 2015, all starting five guys, and compared to this, or the expectations just pretty much across the board equal?
Yeah, I don't know what the right word is. It's, most coaches, we love coaching, so you figure out who your team is, who your guys are, and you dive into it. So
most coaches, we love coaching. You figure out who your guys are and you dive into it. That is a real coach right there.
I'm excited about coaching this group. I love coaching these guys for 2 days and really for all summer. And when you have high-end talent, like a Booker, a Beal, a Durant, coaching a little bit easier. But in some ways it can be harder.
Whose kids are that in the background? Do you guys hear that?
There's a balance of, some things, but it's just, to me, I love coaching, love working with players, love trying to figure out how to put them in their best spots. And that's what we're trying to do these next couple of days and going forward.
Coach, what early habits are you looking to instill in this team throughout training camp as you head into the preseason?
Yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time on defense, developing a defensive
More
identity,
defensive
how
talk.
important it is to guard the ball, but then not leave that guy alone and, have lines of defense and activity and being able to scramble and cover for each other. So I do think training camp and early, defensive principles and a defensive identity are important. But then, you got to be great on both ends, trying to play faster, trying to get the ball to move, people to move, make that part of our identity. And the guys have been great.
What have been your impressions of Damian Lee? Obviously, he had to go through a lot to get back to this.
Okay, he's asking about Damian Lee right here, so let's listen up.
Yeah, he's been great, and he really had a great September. So it's been fun to watch him play. I think some of the things that he does naturally or that, play to his strengths are things that we're trying to do. So I think a lot of it's come, just naturally to him. So, and I've watched him, from really, I guess, whenever it was I started in May, go through the rehab process, kind of finish that up and slowly work back to where he's playing 5-on-5. And, when something's taken away from you, I think you appreciate it more. And it feels like D-Lee does.
That's a great answer. So before we hear from Kevin Durant real quick, that was a great update on him. And I think Kevin Durant also was going to mention something about Damian Lee too, if I saw correctly. But I'm telling you guys, if you missed yesterday's live show and if you missed Media Day, I'm telling you, go on the Suns YouTube channel right now and go, well, not right now, after this live show, and listen to Damian Lee's Media Day press conference. It is so good. He was so real, candid, and honest, and opened up to the media to the point to where I think he was almost in tears, because I was there. I saw him, and it is worth a listen. If you are going through a tough time in your life, please go listen to that. I highly recommend it. But it looks like, well, we haven't really seen it, I believe, but it sounds like Damian Lee is a full go at practice. Mike Budenholzer is saying good things, and I cannot wait to see Damian Lee back on the court. I talked a little bit about Damian Lee yesterday. Check out yesterday's live show. But now let's hear from Kevin Durant. Let me just fix this. Sorry, guys. Okay, cool. Let's hear from Kevin Durant.
Hold on. Kevin, you've obviously done this 17 years now.
18. I need all mine. 18.
You obviously done this 18 years. Does it still that energy that first couple of days?
18 years. 18 years for Kevin Durant.
Getting back into the swing of things. It's been a long summer. You kind of miss the guys. You miss the routine a bit. Anxious to see what the new coaching staff is like. So it's an exciting part of the year.
Curious with the three-guard look. How does that ideally look offensively for you guys when you look at the three guards, Tyus, Devin, and Brad?
Just 3 guys that can, handle the ball, bring the ball up, be able to make plays off the dribble, shoot the basketball as well. So it's always good having multiple guys that can do those things.
Last thing I had was Tyus at the point. He played with the point guards, and he's someone that the assist-to-turnover ratio is incredible. How much does that change what this team can do offensively when you have a point guard like that?
Yeah, I think turnovers is an emphasis on every team. I think that something we struggled with a lot last year, trying to get on the same page with one another. So that's been an emphasis since our first meeting with Coach Bud. It's just nipping that in the bud. Just making sure that we make the correct play, not trying to hit home runs all the time. And that's, sometimes, you can try to make the right play and end up turning the ball over. So you want to try to find that balance as well, So, but this coach has been good at letting us know what we need to do from day one.
Okay, guys. Again, I know there's really nothing groundbreaking going on here. Holy crap, we got to react to this. But I really like what Kevin Durant said there. Because first off, he clearly is addressing the turnover problem. He's talking about Tyus Jones. And I'm sure he even probably would have referenced Monte Morris as well. My point being, there's 2 solid point guards on this team. Technically, we have 4 point guards if you count some of the two-way guys and all that, but there's 2 really solid point guards on this team. Kevin Durant clearly right there just addressed the turnover problem, but mentioned Mike Budenholzer, paying attention to the details, and kind of seems like in days 1 and 2 of training camp, besides the defense, that they are really trying to get as much chemistry on the ball and on offense as they can so that they're not turning the ball over. There's no mistakes. There's no pointing at each other. Nobody's going to be saying you should have been here or you should have shot the ball or whatever the case may be. It really seems like ball movement, pace, and hopefully not turning the ball over has been a key thing throughout these training camps besides the defense. Because that was really a whole bunch of yesterday's live show was just the Suns and myself talking about defense on day 1. So let's keep listening to Kevin Durant.
I know it's early.
You had a busy offseason. How much time do you give yourself just to kind of unplug and get away from basketball?
It's no getting away from this lifestyle, man. You can't, you know what I'm saying? It's you go vacation, but you're gonna work out while you're there. You're gonna still talk to your team. You're still gonna talk to your teammates. So basketball is in us. It's our DNA, so it's hard to get away from it. It was good to get with my teammates this summer, work out with a few guys, get in the gym, hang out with them off the court as well. So yeah, but it's no getting away from the game from us. We committed to this lifestyle since we were kids.
How do you not get burned out?
We love to play ball, man. Seriously, man. It's
we love to play ball, man.
Appreciation we have for the game that keeps us coming in here every single day and wanting to get better. And when you see your progress as a player, it's exciting when you come in there and see yourself getting better. And you can transfer what you do in the workouts into a game. That's the ultimate as a basketball player. So that keeps you coming back.
Grayson was just talking about what a great screener you are. I'm wondering whether that was something when that might have developed, or if you feel like that came naturally.
Yeah, when I was in OKC, I was a slip guy. A lot of defenses would try to hedge on Russell because he's so quick getting out over the
Westbrook
screen. So I slipped a lot. But once I got to Golden State, and we practiced screening every day, and screening for Steph Curry, screening for Klay Thompson. You in the bind sometimes. So I really focused in on being more physical in my screens when I got to Golden State. But I learned the value of screening when I was in OKC.
We've heard a lot of talk about you guys wanting to get up more threes this season. What's kind of the approach when you and Book and
good
Bradley
question.
put in the mid-range, trying to find that balance?
Yeah, I think threes are a product of playing great defense. When you can get out and rebound the basketball.
Threes are a product of good defense. And by the way, earlier he was talking about like how Grayson Allen, what we assume is probably going to be setting more screens and everything, especially since Grayson Allen is like 30 pounds heavier. Okay.
Pushing and create a disadvantage for the defense in transition. And that's what a lot of the threes come up from. So you see the great teams in the league, the Bostons, who else shoots a lot of threes? Dallas, they switch a lot. They swarm at the rim and they get out and get stops. And that's able to get them some numbers on the transition, which can add to your three-point total. And then you got guys that can break you down off the dribble as well. That's the half-court generation, how you generate threes in the half-court. So we want to be able to do both of those things well, but it starts on the defensive end if we want to add more three-pointers to our repertoire.
Real quick, you guys, can we just listen to like the last 13 or 15 seconds of what Kevin Durant just said right there? That for some reason got me excited. Like, listen to him talk about how some of the better teams in the NBA, one of them, the current defending champion, the Boston Celtics, gets up a lot of threes. But he mentioned how like they swarm at the rim and it all starts on defense. And defense leads to those threes getting up. Listen to Kevin Durant. I love what I just heard from him.
Dallas, they switch a lot. They
switch a lot.
Swarm at the rim.
Swarm at the rim.
Stops.
Go out and get stops.
Numbers on the transition, which can add to
transition threes.
You got guys that can break you down off the dribble as well. That's the half-court generation. How you generate.
I love this answer.
So we want to be able to do both of those things well, but it starts on the defensive end if we want to add more three-pointers to our repertoire.
Kevin, on the heels of that, one thing that's obvious the first couple of days is like what has challenged you guys to compete every set, every session, especially on that defensive end.
Yeah, the great thing about this team is we got competitors already. We got guys that take pride in who they are as individual players, and when you have that, along with a coach that's preaching competition every time he brings us together as a team, that helps. So we're all on the same page when it comes to that, and we got guys on this floor that's trying to establish themselves in this team in this league all time. We got a lot of stuff that we're playing for individually, and once we bring that to the team. Coach is going to make sure we're put in the right positions to succeed.
Kevin, when you first came into the league, some teams were trying to take 20 threes a game. Now the number is 40 threes a game. What have you made of like the evolution, change, whatever you want to describe it as, that the game has become with threes in mind?
Yeah, it's a natural progression of the game. The game has always grown farther and farther out from the basket, and you got players that can shoot the ball as soon as they cross half court, and you got now. Last 6, 7 years, you got, instead of 2 or 3 3-point shooters on your team, you got at least 6 or 7 guys that can shoot threes. Even the guys that don't play as much, they're knockdown shooters as well. So that's just the evolution of basketball. The more space, the better it is. And you're seeing the value of the game, the value of space, and you're seeing how it's freeing up a lot of the great players in this league.
Okay, first off, great question from Kellen Olson there, who... Quick fact, I met Kellen Olson at Media Day. He was very nice. But that's one thing I love about KD, man, is sort of like Devin Booker, and whether you love him or hate him, LeBron James, they're NBA historians, and Kevin Durant is definitely one of those NBA historians. And I love the fact that he mentioned, like, when he, entered the league, there was like maybe 2 or 3 3-point shooters on your team, or 4, whatever he said. Now there's like 6, 7, or 8 or more than that. And he even said the guys that aren't like known to be 3-point shooters can still make shots. And he's absolutely right. Like even some of these bench guys or these two-way contract players, guys that are like trying to make their way in the league, even NBA G leaguers can shoot lights out. You know what I mean? Because that's what basketball is. You put the ball in the basket. I've heard Kevin Durant say similar answers like that before, and I love that answer. It's just such a humble yet real answer. You know what I mean? Shout out to Kevin Durant, man.
Always been a rhythm guy over the course course of your career, people will just like tweet at you and say, "Hey, take more threes." I
Yeah.
think it's that simple for you to just take more threes. What's the balance been over your career in finding threes when coaches want you to take them, but at the same time staying in your rhythm?
Yeah, I'm a three-point shooter. That has been my role when I first came into the league. I think I just evolved my game to put pressure on the defense, and yeah, if it's an opportunity for me to shoot a lot of threes that night, I will. But if teams are up into my body and they want me to drive the basketball and be more aggressive to the rim and get free throws or get to my mid range, I'll do that too. So I try to play the game. What the defense is dictating, I try to play off the defense a bit. I'm not just shoot mid range out of spite, to piss people off. I want to do what it takes to win the game, and sometimes, I got to put my head down and be aggressive to go to the rim.
Have you mentioned just this group being competitive? What else has stood out to you about this particular team that you guys have in wanting to win and pushing it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything I want to say stands out because I always knew this about these guys. Everybody competes. Everybody wants to win. You talk about championships, but you really don't talk about it once the season starts, once the ball gets to bouncing, because you want to build your habits every single day. But in the back of your mind, you know what the main goal is of the season, and you can tell that everybody in this locker room has that main goal. So we're just trying to keep growing every day, stack good days, build chemistry with each other and the coaching staff, and go from there.
You talk to Damian your day about his journey back as someone who's played with him and knows what he had to kind of get through to get to this point. How nice is it for him to be back on the court?
Yeah, so happy for Dame. He's been through so much injury-wise in his career and in college and in the league, having multiple surgeries, and it's something about a guy's character who continues to come to work every day when some stuff like that, injuries are out of your control. So he's a diligent worker. He wants to be great. He's a great teammate, first of all, but once he gets on the court, he's a fierce competitor, and I just love being around him.
You mentioned
Real quick, you guys, before we get to that last question, that like I said, that was some high praise for Damian Lee. Called him a great teammate, called him a great person, a hard worker, coming back from the rehab and the injury. But he said when Damian Lee's on the court, he's a competitor, man. So I heard nothing but good things. I think he said he's extremely happy for Damian Lee, and I'm just thrilled. I cannot wait for that first Suns preseason game for a lot of reasons. But I hope we get to see Damian Lee play, especially since, during preseason, the starters may not play much, if at all. You know what I mean? So I hope we get to see some Damian Lee. By the way, you guys, after Kevin Durant's done, I think what I'm going to do because Grayson Allen's the only other one, I think I'll kind of get to the rest of my stuff that I got here. And then we will listen to Grayson Allen, get to some other stuff, answer some questions and comments, and then wrap up this show. So let's finish with what Kevin Durant had to say about Suns training camp on day 2.
Near 18, the fact that Coach Bud said you were sometimes joking about your age. The trip you got.
I had a lot of questions for Kevin Durant.
Toddlers when you first came into the league and that or barely in the kindergarten.
It's just life, man. It's just life now. I'm just grateful to be around this long and be able to gain so much information and knowledge crossing these decades. I've two decades basically I've been played in, so I'm getting a lot of energy from the younger players as well. So the younger, I guess, the better for me.
All right, yeah. So like I said, we'll hear from Grayson in a little bit. But I like what I've been hearing from Mike Budenholzer so far on both days, including media day. I like what I've been hearing from Kevin Durant, and just really everything from Suns training camp so far is good. Yesterday, Dwayne Rankin had a tweet talking about what he took away from training camp, and he had another tweet like that today. And I'm going to read you guys that tweet right here. Day 2 of Phoenix Suns training camp at the team's practice facility. These are Dwayne Rankin from the Arizona Republic's takeaways. 1, intense, competitive practice on Wednesday after going twice on Tuesday. Kevin Durant leading drills in year 18, was energized to start camp. We saw that. We talked about it. 3, Suns are still focusing on defense. So I like what I saw there. And I think Kevin Durant said this, but I want to read the quote anyways. And this is from Kevin Durant talking here, quote, "And you can tell that everybody in this locker room has that main goal. We're just trying to keep growing every day, stack good days, build chemistry with each other and the coaching staff, and go from there. I think that's a big takeaway, you guys. Love what I'm seeing and hearing from Suns training camp. But we're going to kind of get into some other stuff here, you guys. I want to read you guys a couple of tweets from people that you guys might be pretty familiar with. I want to start with a friend of the channel, former host, if you will, of the PHNX podcast. But Flex from Jersey had this tweet yesterday, and I agree with him. He said, I'm telling y'all, it's only been 1 day of camp. I mean, now it's been 2 days, but this tweet was from yesterday. You know what I mean? But he says, I'm telling y'all, it's only been 1 day of camp, and the vibes are completely night and day from last year. I love what I've heard and seen so far. There's just a different energy and focus and comfort that makes up a basketball team special. I've seen this movie before. Watch out. Hashtag Suns up. And yes, that is our new little like slogan or hashtag for the season. It's hashtag Suns up. That's what the Suns are promoting this year. And then speaking of PHNX, Espo had a tweet that I liked today too that we're going to also react to. And sorry guys, I got a lot of buttons going on here. Espo writes, it's clear in just the first few days the Suns have been back that there is a completely different mindset, keyword there, mindset and approach. Feels lighter, but with more buy-in and focus. There's a rule in business, fail fast. Give credit to Ishbia, Josh Bartelstein, and James Jones for moving on from Vogel. So I take this as all positives. I like what I'm hearing. I like what we are seeing so far from Suns training camp. And with that being said, though, we're going to kind of move on to a couple of different things. I was like reading some articles and some stuff earlier on. And again, this is kind of all over the place. I might just call this the all over the place segment. Just some stuff that I was writing down, stuff that I was reading. I was listening to Tyus Jones talk with Tom Leander on Media Day, and Tom Leander had a great stat. It's a simple stat, but it's a great stat. Tyus Jones last season played with the Washington Wizards. Clearly, they are not very good. They're in a long rebuild. You guys know, if you've watched this channel a lot, that I've been fascinated with their rebuild for some reason. I love what they're doing over there because they're so young. They literally tore it down, and they're going to rebuild brick by brick. That's probably why I'm so fascinated with it. But Tom Leander had a stat for Tyus Jones on Media Day. 66 games with the Wizards, 66 turnovers. That's not a joke. 66 games with the Wizards, 66 turnovers. It's crazy. And then Tyus Jones joked, he's like, that's a few too many, you know what I mean? And some stuff that I've been seeing, I don't know if it was Devin Booker who mentioned this or if it was just other players or where I saw it from. But, and I feel like I knew this because I did a lot of homework when we got Tyus Jones, and I already knew Tyus Jones could do this, but I think it really is an underrated part of Tyus Jones's game. Tyus Jones can score. Like, yes, we brought him here to Phoenix to help, as people are putting it, set the table, to be the floor general, to be our point guard. I understand that. We brought him here for that. We brought him here for a little leadership, but he is just so much more than that. First off, I'm not saying he was ever an immature player, but he's a lot more mature, like more mature than I thought he was, probably because he's a dad of two boys, or I believe it's two boys, but he's a dad. But two, he's just seems like a stand-up, young man who obviously, as I like to put it, is going to be the Suns quarterback. But guys, Tyus Jones can score. And I've talked about that on a few past live shows. Tyus Jones can score the ball. And I swear I saw somewhere, I don't know if it was Media Day or wherever it was, but I was like, Devin Booker talked about that. And I was talking about that with a couple of friends the other day. I was like, Tyus Jones can, any points that Tyus Jones give us is obviously a bonus, but I'm like, you can't leave him wide open either. He's got a nice floater game. He can shoot a little bit, take you off the dribble, drive in and score. Tyus Jones can score is what I'm saying. And on top of that, is one of the better point guards in the league. And again, shout out to Tom Lander for this great stat. In 66 games, he had 66 turnovers. That's nuts. There's players that go like 3 or 4 games and have like what, 12, 13 turnovers or something like that. I love it. And Jason, I do see your question. I'm going to get to that in a little bit here. Speaking of facts, this isn't really a fun fact, but it is a fact. I read this on Bright Side of the Sun from AZ Sports Zone, who I also met at Media Day. Very nice guy, and was literally sitting right next to me throughout most of, if not all of Media Day. So shout out to him. He put this in his article, his 5 takeaways from Suns Media Day. Quote, fun fact. He's joking when he says fun fact. It's not a fun fact. Devin Booker has had 114 different teammates in Phoenix and is on his 7th head coach in 10 years. Devin Booker has had 114 different teammates and 7 now he's on 7 coaches in 10 years. I think I saw a similar stat about that with Karl Anthony Towns too. Like he had like a whole bunch of coaches and like a couple different GMs when he was with the Timberwolves. That's nuts. Oh, and I'll just pull up the stats so you guys can read it here. He tweeted it. I forgot about that. But this quote, like not so fun fact, but a fun fact about Devin Booker. As you can see here. Oh, wait, let me just fix this. Sorry, y'all, so you guys can actually see it. Let's click out of that. It's a great picture of Devin Booker, but I want you guys to actually see the tweet. Devin Booker is in year 10. He has had 114 different teammates and is on his 7th head coach. He's been through a lot. And I got to pull the selfish card real quick, you guys. It has been a privilege to cover Devin Booker throughout those 10 years on this channel. I absolutely love it. And AZ Sports Zone is not wrong. He has been through a lot. Devin Booker deserves a championship. Us Phoenix Suns fans, we deserve a championship. The city of Phoenix and the state of Arizona deserves a Suns championship. As Suns Fever says, Hulk smash that like button. Seriously, you guys, crush that like button. Get your questions and comments in now. We're going to do a couple other spontaneous Suns related things. We're going to hear from Grayson Allen, and then I'll try to get some questions, and we'll probably wrap up the show. So get your questions in, get your comments in, concerns, whatever it is, get them in now. And Suns Fever 83 says, I'll go through a lot for $50 million a year. Yeah, Devin Booker's also made a lot of money in his 10 years. Okay, guys. So let's see what else I got for you guys. Here's a fun one. Since we just got done talking about Tyus Jones not too long ago, shout out to Solo Wit _ on Twitter. Solomon, I believe his name is. He did a fun little jersey swap of Tyus Jones. Now, again, this is, I believe, Photoshop. It's edited and all that. This isn't like the real thing. But it's a nice little Photoshop. I saw Suns Uni Tracker quote tweet this. And let me lower this banner so you guys can see it. That's pretty good. I don't know nothing about Photoshop and all that, but first off, the Valley jerseys look beautiful. I said this when they were leaked and everything. I was like, we just need to see them on the players, see them on the court. I say that every year. I'm a broken record at this point. But I love this Photoshop. Tyus Jones looks so good, man. And again, it is a Photoshop. I don't care. I love it. It looks so good. But again, the only thing it's missing is the cactus. That's just my personal opinion. Beyond that, gives you the vibes of the 1995 NBA All-Star Game, plus the Valley jerseys mixed in there. Beautiful. You got the owl patch right there. And I do agree with Devin Booker, by the way. He said this on Media Day that he was going for the Shazam. I think it should say Shazam. So more on Al McCoy later, by the way. Okay, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on here. We're going to listen to Grayson Allen. This is about a 6-7 minute clip, I believe. We're going to listen to Grayson Allen. There's a little bit to take away. Then we'll get to questions, comments, some other NBA related stuff, and then we'll wrap up the show. And then again, friendly reminder, just so you guys know, tomorrow we're going to be doing a Suns kind of super pod with a bunch of other Suns podcasters and stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that'll be 3 live shows in a row, y'all. Cannot wait for tomorrow's live show. So let's hear from Grayson Allen. I'm going to put on my headphones and let's hear what Grayson Allen has to say.
Yeah, I mean, we got another good, intense, competitive day today.
Can you guys hear it okay? Let me know.
Everyone was good from yesterday. Everyone's in a good spot. A lot of learning, teaching, a lot of scripting plays, going through our defensive habits and getting up and down and competing a little bit.
One other thing I had was, how similar is this to you in Milwaukee with Moses? The same script, or has he switched it up a little bit?
A little, like some of the concepts are similar. Some of the drills we do during practice to either warm up or go through some fundamentals are similar, but like team-wise, offensively, very different than Milwaukee. We got a much different roster than them.
Glenn was saying that he feels like you've improved a lot since the last saw you in Milwaukee. Where do you feel like you've improved then to now?
I got better as a shooter. I got better at getting threes off the dribble. Better as a creator or secondary playmaker, trying to make plays for other guys or score in the paint. I feel like every 2 years I was at Milwaukee, I took a big jump defensively, and last year took on a lot of tougher assignments. So I feel like I took another jump defensively last year too. And then it comes from having another year under your belt in the NBA, but just being more comfortable, being a little smarter, being a little bit more savvy in certain situations out there that just makes the game easier for you.
I love that answer from Grayson Allen. You know, he thinks he got better on defense last year, and I pretty much agree with that. I think he was a little underrated on defense, in my personal opinion, but he's like, you know, you just learn things each year. You continue to grow. You continue to improve. I love it, man. I love what I'm hearing from Grayson Allen so far. Shout out to my guy, John, from the Suns Jam Session podcast. I don't know if you caught it just now, John, but I've been hyping up our Suns Super Pod for tomorrow. Cannot wait. When I get done with this stream, I'm going to fire up the stream on my end. Cannot wait. He says, hey, that's Bryce in the background. Yeah, I saw him at Media Day, man. Mary says off season has been too long. It really has. Tracy says he beefed up. Yeah, he really has beefed up. John and I saw him at on Media Day. He's a lot bulkier in person. You know what I mean? And Joseph, I see your question. I'll make sure to get to it. Let's continue to listen to Grayson Allen, y'all, and then we'll get to the questions and all this other good stuff, y'all. Let's go.
Yeah, a little bit of everywhere.
When one led the league in 3-point shooting, how do you get better as a shooter in the offseason? What was your routine like?
A lot of it was the same as what I've done. You know, I've tried to keep expanding my range where deeper shots feel comfortable. And when I'm right up against the 3-point line, it feels like a layup. Getting shots off in different ways, a little quicker, different footwork, under pressure, just different things that I saw during last season. Some late clock stuff, if you get stuck with the ball at the end of the clock, got to throw one up. Just a lot of different things I saw last year playing with this group of guys.
I was talking a couple days ago about he wasn't last year was just kind of a mix of emotions and injuries, and he wasn't really happy, and that's his goal for this year to kind of find that joy. Did you sense that last year from him, that he was struggling a little to find his place in his role?
A little bit, yeah, because I mean, injuries are always frustrating, and I kind of felt like, you know, I think there was one time he came back and was starting to get into stride and got hit with another one and then was out for a little bit. So I know he really wanted to help the team a lot last year, and it's really tough to do when you're coming into a new spot and trying to fit in a different role and still score the ball the way he can. So it was tough, and I know he knows he could be a 30-point per game guy, and so I know him. That's the kind of standard he has for himself and his ability to score the ball, and we all know he can do that too. So I know that was frustrating, but he had some great games last year, and when he's good, we're really good.
Chris, when you talk about expanding your range, you have it dialed out to like a foot distance that you want to be comfortable with?
Not really. It's like kind of if you took an arc where like those hashes are and the squares are on the court and kind of cut through the ones on the wing and above the square at the top is probably where I'm comfortable at now. Feels like a set shot. Anywhere behind that, I kind of feel like I got to dip into it a little bit more, and it's a little bit more forced. But I don't know how many feet that is, but that's probably 5, 6 feet behind the line, maybe.
Grayson, what was it like for you to play with Kevin Durant last year, and how do you think you can improve just playing next to him and continuing to build that continuity?
It was actually really easy to play next to Kev. He's a good passer. He draws a ton of double teams, and he always has his head up, and a bunch of other little stuff he does, like making the quick pass. He's a great screener, and a lot of times the guys don't want to switch off of him, so he's really effective in screening the ball and getting other guys open. And then when they do want to switch, you can find them for mismatches. So overall, pretty easy, and I think the more we share time on the court, the better it'll get.
Grayson, when you look at what you said on Monday in terms of threes and you generating some yourself by driving in, when you're in that spacing role, do you notice when the flow is there in terms of getting the threes there, and is that perhaps where the team has to improve the most? Not necessarily with the mindset, but the movement offensively to generate the threes?
Yeah, I think there's the movement to generate it, and then there's like having just the sense of urgency to like shoot the first good one that we get. Like when we get in those spread lineups where it's 5 out, or even with Dirk out there, like all the guys on our team have this mindset of like trying to create for someone else. Or sometimes like you just got to take that first open three when you get it. We don't need another drive or second or third drive, then you might not get it, or it might end in a turnover. So for a lot of guys, a lot of us, it's being a little less unselfish and just taking that first one when you get it.
All right, you guys, good stuff from Grayson Allen there. Like I said, you guys, this live show was like nothing groundbreaking, like holy crap, Kevin Durant said this or Mike Budenholzer said that, but I still wanted to recap you guys on Suns training camp and everything. But I will say this. First off, I love what Grayson Allen said about Kevin Durant. Said that he's an unselfish passer, obviously draws a lot of double teams and everything, but always has his head up, good leader and everything. Love what I heard from Grayson Allen saying that. And I like how he kind of talked about Bradley Beal and like the role and everything that he had to, everything he went through last year. And I know every time Bradley Beal talks about Grayson Allen, he says really good things. Again, continuity, chemistry, and all of that. But he did talk about the differences between Mike Budenholzer from when Grayson was in Milwaukee and, the differences from now, like, training camp in Phoenix and everything. So love what I hear from Grayson. If you guys want to hear from Kevin Durant and Mike Budenholzer, just rewind this live show. Go check it out later. I'll make sure to like add timestamps and everything. I'm going to try to do that all season long with all of my live shows. And I'll make sure to do it for yesterday's show. I'll add like timestamps just in case there's a certain spot you want to listen to and everything. Big shout out to Harlem Vega for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. He says, Suns Geek and the Phoenix Suns go together like vodka and orange juice. That sounds really good right now. Jason says, very excited to see Grayson. Suns Burrow, I hope I pronounced that right. Appreciate you being here. Says, best version of Grayson so far. And MC Cole 42 says, great show, Geek. I appreciate that, man. I just wanted to keep you guys updated. I mean, again, nothing too crazy, but I will say this. We're almost an hour in, and we still have a little bit more to talk about. Just some other stuff I want to talk about. Big shout out to the Suns Jam Session podcast as well. He says Suns Jam, Handshake, and Suns Geek. Yes, like I said, you guys, big Suns Super Pod tomorrow. Can't wait. We're going to be answering some questions, talking all things Phoenix Suns. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be co-streaming it on this channel. Cannot wait for that. Okay, guys. So let's get to some other Suns and NBA related things. And then, actually, you know what? Let me get to some questions here. Then we'll get to the Suns and other related things. Real quick, this is more of a comment, but shout out to my guy, Abraham. Says, hey, Suns Geek. Congrats on being part of Media Day. Huge milestone. Absolutely, man. I appreciate that. I'm humbled. All the glory goes to God. Jason says, Ryan Dunn is going to get a chance, and he's going to succeed in it. Fingers crossed, Jason. I agree with you. He's definitely going to get a chance. I just hope that he succeeds in it. We talked yesterday a little bit about him, and he talked to the media, and seems like he's really been working on his game. Seems like he's really confident in his three-point shooting, and I can't wait to see him. I hope that the defense is as good as advertised, and I hope that he's been working on his three. And then a follow-up question and comment from Jason here. Do you see the vibe change? Because Bradley Beal looks way happier. Thank you, Jason. I'm so glad that you talked about this, because that was another thing that I was sort of writing down and doing, taking my notes on. And now I'm paraphrasing a little bit of this here, but Bradley Beal was talking to Tom Leander and stuff on Media Day. And again, I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but Bradley Beal said that his family gave him a much needed mental break. Like, yeah, obviously during the off season, there's the physical break, right? You got to rest your body or your body's going to break down. But he said that his family gave him a much needed mental break. And Grayson Allen kind of just talked about it not too long ago, how like he was playing out of his role. He was dealing with the injuries. There was just a lot going on. Grayson pretty much talked about it. I think Bradley Beal on Media Day even talked about it. He looks happier. He sounds happier. I think he even mentioned how he lost a little bit of weight in a good way, obviously. And he also mentioned, Bradley Beal said like he had a great off season. His body feels good, but his mental feels even better than his body. And I love that. And Bradley Beal also mentioned that Mike Budenholzer told him, he said something along the lines of like, I want to see the Bradley Beal that was like in Washington. You know what I mean? Like the all-star version of Bradley Beal. And I love that. And he said, get me back to being an offensive minded guy, but while also doing whatever the team needs me to do. So to answer your question, Jason, yes, Bradley Beal, I can see the vibe change. He looks so much happier. Looks like he had a good, healthy, on and off the court healthy offseason. And I think we're going to see a completely different Bradley Beal. Cannot wait. Thank you for that comment and question, Jason. Let's see. A couple more here. Joseph says, hey, Suns Geek, how far do you think the Suns will go in the playoffs if we make it this year? Well, first off, I hope we make it, or that'd be a disaster. But guys, I'm going to be biased here. I think we are a championship contender. No, I take that back. I don't think. I believe we are a championship contender. We just need to have consistency, great leadership, great defense, and we need to put that three. We need to put the ball in the basket, but we need to get a lot of threes. But you know what? Let's just get to All-Star break. Let's get at least to January or even December before we start talking about the playoffs. But I remember one of my last or a couple live shows ago, I think it was Suns Fever 83, or somebody said like the Suns are going 98-0 this year. We're going to win every regular season game. We're going to win all the playoff games, and we're going to win our first championship, baby. So that's what I think. And again, shout out to Harlan Vega earlier for the $5 super chat. Okay, you guys. Real quick, one more thing from Jason. Like KD said, Ryan Dunn wants to be great. I love that. And we have someone that wants it real bad. Exactly. Okay, you guys. Let's get to a couple random, Suns and NBA related things. If you guys got any final questions or comments, get them in right now. This is the chance to do it. Big shout out to Suns Uni Tracker for this next topic here that we got going on. And there's a lot to read here, but I will just pull it up first so you guys can look at it, and then I'll read it to you guys. Suns Unitracker is paying tribute to the late great Al McCoy, and he is going to be designing and selling these jerseys right here that you can see on the screen. I'm just going to full screen it and lower the banner so you guys can see these beautiful jerseys. And no, this isn't like a paid promotion or anything. He doesn't even know I'm doing this. But first off, it's a beautiful jersey with the Shazam on there, the 51, because obviously Al McCoy, 51 years and everything. And then you see the little patch there, and then it says the voice. And then if we look at the back of the jersey, it has a little sunburst with Al, and then obviously McCoy, and then 51. Absolutely beautiful jersey. Yes, he is going to be selling these. More on that later. Yes, this is a huge tribute to Al McCoy. And no, this is not sponsored. This is just me reacting to this, talking about it, wanted to keep you guys in the loop. Absolutely a beautiful jersey from Suns Unitracker. And then let me just kind of fix my screen here. Let me just lower myself right there. Okay, let's see if that looks better. Okay, but let me read you guys. Now it's a lot that he posted here. But let me read you guys what he tweeted. You guys can see it on the screen as well. Suns Unitracker says the Al McCoy tribute jersey is now available. Wanted to do something in his memory while keeping a classic feel. Fan feedback was overwhelming in favor of purple, which is perfect. Purple is for royalty, and that's exactly what Al is. Also wanted to ensure we had a black band for fans to grab. As I'm not sure official jerseys will be made and available, fans may have to add their own Al bands, working on getting some made for those who want them. That's cool. So I hope he does do that, because I will buy one of those bands for Al McCoy. And then he continues on saying Shazam, Al's most iconic phrase. 51, number of years as Suns announcer. 1933 to 2024, years we were blessed with Al. AZ flag, because Arizona loved him so much and he loved it right back. And then Al sunburst, because he will be forever a part of Suns history. That is a beautiful tweet, or not tweet. That's a beautiful dedication, and beautiful, well written, beautiful dedication and tribute to Al McCoy. Suns Unitracker, that was well done, well written. Thank you for writing that. That was just a beautiful description and a summary of the late great Al McCoy. And again, you guys, if you're looking on the screen right now, Suns Unitracker will be selling these. No, this is not like a promotion or anything. This is beautiful. I love it. I love what I'm seeing here. And yes, you guys can pre-order these. I'm going to go to the actual website right now. They're $89. If you guys can see my screen, they're $89. You can pre-order them right now. And let me see here. Sorry, what's going on here? They're on the website right now. You can pre-order them. And then if you click this little button right here, it shows like the size, the size guide and everything, so you guys can get your size. But what's cool is it has all the information. But what's cool is it seems like the website he uses partnered with Afterpay. So if you sign up for Afterpay, you can make payments of $22.25. And I get it, you guys. Like, I'm not rich. Like, there's times where I've had to use like Afterpay and Zip and all those other payment things where you just make payments on big purchases. This is awesome. I really want one of these. And seriously, go support Suns Unitracker. Go buy them. This is incredible. And you will, be paying tribute to the late, great Al McCoy. Excuse me. All right, you guys, we're an hour in. Going to be taking some final comments and questions here, but we're going to react to a couple of more random Suns and NBA related things, and then we're going to call it a day. So let me take off my headphones and we'll get started. By the way, I don't know if you guys can see my little son's wall here, but I got the Al McCoy bobblehead and Al McCoy's book right there. And then thank you, Al, from his son's Ring of Honor night. I felt kind of stupid because when I was paying my personal tribute to Al McCoy, I had his bobblehead sitting right here. I took it off the shelf because I wanted to show you guys closer, and I completely forgot about it. I'm so silly, you guys. Please forgive me and my sins, you guys. Okay. Couple more random NBA things, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Shout out to Fred Katz, who is a great listen, a great follow. Really does a great job covering this league, covers the New York Knicks and all that. But he had a cool tweet just today, I believe. And he says, the Knicks have discovered a new loophole in the CBA. Teams in their situation aggregate minimums teams in their situation cannot aggregate minimums anymore. So in the sign and trade of Jeffries, Brown, and Washington, he's referencing the Karl Anthony Towns trade, which just got finalized today. It was like a 3-team trade, including the Hornets. So he says, so in the sign and trade of Jeffries, Brown, and Washington, they are paying each of those guys just $1 above the minimum, league sources tell The Athletic. I love that tweet. Seems like the Knicks have found a loophole. And remember when I said, like, I was reading some stuff on Tyus Jones and Devin Booker, and it was like a fun fact. Well, I believe it was Mark Stein. Speaking of the Karl Anthony Towns trade, Mark Stein's Substack had a couple fun facts about Karl Anthony Towns and the Knicks. Number 3, after the trade for Karl Anthony Towns and after his new contract kicks in next season, Jalen Brunson will be the 3rd highest paid Knick behind Towns and OG Anunoby. That comes from Mark Stein of Substack. Or he covers the league. He does a great job. But he has his own Substack and everything. Mark Stein pretty much saying Karl Anthony Towns will be the 3rd, or no, Jalen Brunson, will be the 3rd highest player behind Towns and OG Anunoby. That's crazy, especially after Cat's new contract kicks in next season. That just goes to show that Jalen Brunson's contract is really a good deal, especially for all the salary cap and new CBA nerds and all that. Speaking of the Knicks have now made 3 significant trades since December 30th, 2023 to acquire OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Karl Anthony Towns. They are all in. Like we know the Phoenix Suns are all in. We know a lot of other teams in the NBA are all in, but the Knicks are like, hey, we're putting our foot through the door here. We are here. We are on the scene. And again, I said this yesterday, you guys. Even before the Karl Anthony Towns trade, I loved what the Knicks did this offseason. Now, only time will really tell if trading for Cat was the right move. Hopefully for the Knicks and the Timberwolves, this is a win-win kind of trade. We'll see, but just wanted to kind of talk about that random stuff. And speaking of the Knicks trade, former Phoenix Sun, Keita Bates-Diop was involved in that trade. I believe the Knicks signed him this offseason, or they traded for him or something. And he is now going to be playing for the Timberwolves. Again, that's where he started his career, I believe. So he's back with the Wolves now, going to be wearing the same jersey number, but he was involved in that trade. I kind of wanted to see him on the Knicks, because that's just another good wing defender, wing player and everything. I know this isn't a Knicks show, but just some fun facts about the Knicks that I saw. Okay, guys, let me see. I got a couple more things and we're going to wrap things up. Speaking of Mark Stein was, I believe, was the one that broke this news. Not that it's like groundbreaking news or anything, but I do feel it is worth talking about. Earlier today, I just saw a funny tweet that I want to show you guys as well. Let me see. Where was it? Here we go. Yeah, Mark Stein earlier today reported. What's going on here? Here we go. Earlier today, Mark Stein reported that former Phoenix Sun head coach Frank Vogel, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see this. Former Phoenix Sun head coach Frank Vogel, quote, is part of our coaching staff as a coaching consultant. Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd says, former Phoenix Sun Jason Kidd, by the way. Quote, it took a lot of begging, Jason Kidd joked, but he was talked into it, and I'm happy he said yes. So former Phoenix Sun head coach recently let go, fired by the Phoenix Suns, still getting paid millions of dollars to not coach this team. Former Phoenix Sun head coach Frank Vogel will be, quote, a coaching consultant with the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm a coaching consulting expert, but remember, Steve Nash, yes, Hall of Fame, Hall of Famer, Suns legendary point guard Steve Nash was a consultant for the Golden State Warriors. And even though he didn't win any rings as a player, technically, Steve Nash has 2 championship rings because he was a consultant with Stephen Curry and the Warriors. There's a photo of them holding up, a trophy together because Steve Nash was a part of those teams. And I think him being a coaching consultant led to him getting that job with the Brooklyn Nets, if I remember correctly. So former Phoenix Sun head coach Frank Vogel, a part of the coaching staff in Dallas now. Or not Dallas. Dallas. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, crazy. Just thought that was worth mentioning and talking about there. So, final thing I have for you guys tonight. Not going to spend too much time on this, but it's worth talking about, especially since the NBA preseason, I believe, begins October 4th. I think it's the Celtics or the Nuggets are going to play or something like that. We'll see. But there's a preseason game There's a preseason game October 4th, and then there's the Suns play Sunday, October 6th, which I cannot wait for that. But Evan Sedri, I can't say his last name. You guys know that. Here's the best available free agents on the market that are still left. And there's plenty more guys besides these guys. Obviously, the big one is Markelle Fultz. Please get Markelle Fultz on a roster like right now. Dennis Smith Jr., former Phoenix Sun Jay Crowder, Robert Covington, Doug McDermott, Justin Holiday, O'Shea Brissett, former Phoenix Sun Bismack Biyombo, and former Phoenix Sun Daniel House. And then there's probably like so many others. All of those are very serviceable, very good players that should be on a roster. But I feel like as October rolls along and as, like, heck, even when we're into a couple weeks into the season, I feel like a lot of these guys are going to get signed. Some of it might even take till like December. You know what I mean? December, maybe January, but that's okay. Like, that happens. Remember Bismack Biyombo, when he signed with the Suns, wasn't he signed like on New Year's Day or New Year's night? You guys remember that? Like, sometimes it takes a few months, especially with the new CBA and all of that. That's okay. Like, but Markelle Fultz, get this man on a roster right now. Just saying, y'all. Okay, guys. Let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. Let's see here. And I can't say it much, but I'm thankful for an owner like Matt. I agree with you, Matt. Wait, yeah, but I get your point. I'm thankful for Matt Ishbia as well. Joseph says, Suns Geek, are you a fan of the Mercury? To be honest with you guys, I don't watch as much Phoenix Suns Mercury as I should, especially since I, have a Phoenix Suns channel. I should be more in touch with the Phoenix Mercury. I need to do better and start watching more games and follow along more. But you guys know me. I try to support all Arizona teams. I'm not a big Cardinals fan, but I try to watch as much Cardinals football as I can. I try to follow them. Same thing with the D-backs and everything. So to answer your question, yes, but I just need to do a better job of watching and supporting them more. David says preseason is meaningless to me. Well, sorry you feel that way, man, but I love preseason because it's literally like a teaser trailer for what our team is going to look like. And we have basketball back in our lives. Like, for me personally, I love NBA preseason. And Felix says Bismack Biombo, baby. You guys have heard me say on this channel a few times, Bismack will literally, and I don't mean this to be offensive, I mean this like as a compliment, he will literally probably be the last player to be signed because he's just out doing better things in the world and taking care of his home country and all that. Suns Fever 83 says, great show, Geek. I appreciate you, man. Like I said, we are so back, y'all. In my personal opinion, the NBA season began on Media Day. That's just for me anyways. And here we are. Training camp is underway. Back-to-back live shows. You know, there's training camp tomorrow, but tomorrow we're going to be doing a Suns Megapod with the Suns Jam Session podcast and everything. Can't wait for that. And some other podcasters and Suns creators and all that. And yeah, I just can't wait, man. David says, did you show the Al McCoy bobblehead? I missed most of your stream. I meant to show it the night that I paid tribute to him, but it was literally sitting in front of me and I completely forgot. I'll do it another live show. I promise you guys. I'll unbox it and everything. And as you can see, I got his book back there and a poster. I also have his shirt in my closet. I wore it to Phoenix when I visited. And yeah, just rest in peace to the late, great Al McCoy. And seriously, you guys, go buy those jerseys that Suns Uni Tracker did. Just go buy them. Go support him. So yeah, guys, I think that's it. This was fun. You know, we just reacted and heard from Mike Budenholzer and Kevin Durant and Grayson Allen. We talked all things Suns, all things NBA. And, you know, a lot of this, at least until we get to that first Suns preseason game, a lot of it's probably going to be recycled and stuff just because we need to see, we just give us one game under our belt. That's why I love preseason, y'all. Like, we'll have so much more to talk about when we have one or two preseason games under our belt. You know what I mean? So, like I said, big Suns pod tomorrow. I might take Friday off unless, like, you know, Devin Booker talks or something big happens, you know, or whatever. I might take Friday off. Maybe I'll do a live show Saturday, and then Sunday is the Suns' first preseason game. So I'll be making videos and live shows and all that after that. Cannot wait for that. So the NBA season, you guys, is back in our lives. And I am just so excited, you guys. So whether you are watching now or later, I honestly appreciate each and every single one of you. You are all amazing. You guys already know the drill. You know what I'm going to say here. Just do me a huge favor, you guys, and please subscribe for everything Phoenix Suns. Hulk smash that like button. Share the show. If you do share it, tag me on social media. And it doesn't matter what's going on, you guys. I'm going to do my best to bring you guys the best Phoenix Suns content that I possibly can. I mean, you guys already know that there's tons of podcasts and content creators nowadays, but I'm going to bring you real, authentic, you know, just my personal opinion, Suns coverage coming from a fan like me. And seriously, without you guys, this channel is pretty much nothing. So you guys are amazing. And, you know, I said it yesterday, but I really mean it. Like, actions speak louder than words, but I want to try to double my content this season. More live shows, more YouTube shorts, more videos and all that. I'm going to do my best. Obviously, there's a physical and mental toll with all of that, but I'm going to try to double my content. So cannot wait. We are so back, baby. And again, even if you are new and you don't really feel like subscribing yet, just do me a favor. At the end of the day, you guys, just keep watching, just keep listening. Even if you hate my ugly face, just keep listening, because that's all that YouTube cares about. That's all that I care about. So you guys are amazing. We are on the road. We are on the grind to 10K subscribers. That's another milestone that we are going for. Cannot wait. So Lots of things happening in our real world right now, you guys. Lots of things happening across the seas and all of that, if you catch my drift. So please, you guys, just take care of each other, love each other, spread positivity into this world. Be safe out there. Take care of yourselves first. Take care of your family and friends, and just be kind to each other. And you already know the drill. Win or lose, Phoenix Suns for life. Cannot wait for tomorrow's show. Can't wait for the Suns' first preseason game. You guys are amazing. God bless you guys. Peace out. Win or lose, Phoenix Suns for life. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Yes, sir. What's up, Suns Geek?